Hi everyone, it's your girl 𝕗𝕚𝕚, and the topic of today is moldavite and how to use it. And let me tell you, this is kind of a stone that I have a love-hate relationship with, but honestly, I love moldavite. It's completely transformed my life from the beginning all the way to now, and I'm going to put a shop in the description. I only buy from this shop pretty much. There's one other shop I buy from, but when it comes to moldavite, they are the only ones I buy from. They are, every piece I've gotten is authentic, genuine. I've never had any issues with this shop. The shipping is always wonderful. The only thing is I don't know if they ship outside of Canada. I'll have to find that information out for you guys. But like I said, I'm putting the link in the description. So on to moldavite, and this is a crystal that I adore. But it definitely took time for me to fully understand what was happening, because moldavite, like I always say, moldavite does not play, and it takes away every person, place, or thing that is draining you, that is, preventing your ascension from happening, that is preventing you from living a better and more fulfilling life. And the best way that I could describe it is the Tower card in the tarot deck. And if you know tarot, or if you don't know tarot, it's basically the card where it's a tall tower, and I mean, some are different, but the one that I know is it's on fire. Some people are jumping from it. Like, it's a really traumatic card, and a lot of people are afraid of it, which is completely understandable, because it's basically changes that you cannot escape, you cannot avoid, but it will be of benefit to you in the long run. And when I first started using moldavite, that's exactly what happened. It was like ending after ending, doors closing. A lot of changes very, very fast. Like, I was using it for about a month. I didn't wear it. I was just meditating with it. I made a crystal grid on my body and I just meditated with it. And that was more than enough. I didn't want to wear it because that was more than enough. And I could see why people are fearful of that. And I can see why a lot of people online say, don't buy moldavite, don't do this, stay away from it. If you have it, throw it out. I definitely had a thought about throwing mine out because the changes were that intense. But it's funny because at the beginning, when all these crazy things were happening, Spirit said to me, it said, you could either cry about this or you could get up and do something. And I was like, no, I'm going to get up and do something. Me just sitting around and complaining about it, going to friends, complaining about it, it's not going to fix anything. So I became, I started to really pay attention to myself. I started to pay attention to the people around me. I started paying attention to everything. And I started to notice that moldavite was really showing me, okay, no more doing this, no more, be very careful with who you surround yourself with, even changing certain foods that I was eating. A big thing for me was drinking more water. Spirit was very aggressive with that. And I realized now it was because my sacral was very weak. And if you know the sacral, you know that its element is water. And I say that because, like I said, moldavite highlights every single thing that is hindering you. And I know some people might see this and say, oh, well, it's just water. Like, how is it affecting your life? Because I was purging so much. That water really calmed me. It kept the anxiety down. It kept the fear down. So when all this crazy stuff is happening and other people are freaking out, I was like, I'm not worried at all. At all. Like, I wasn't worried at all, which is crazy because a lot of wild things were happening. So when it comes to moldavite is this. If there's anything in your life that you're unsure of, that kind of leaves you feeling drained, leaves you feeling not quite like yourself, for instance, if you have a job that you don't really like and it's hard for you to get up in the morning and you always come home drained and not wanting to go to work the next day, you're probably going to get laid off. If you're in a relationship that is more draining and you're just comfortable, you or the person you're with is probably going to dump you because it's not benefiting you. It's just draining you. You're just comfortable, right? And that's basically what moldavite does. And a lot of people fear that. And I say, and I'm the opposite. I'm all about like, no, you know what? Let's do this. Let's get it all done. Let's do what needs to happen. Let's do the little spiritual cleaning that needs to happen. So I went through with it. And yes, it was intense and it was crazy. But one of the things that I'm going to recommend for people is that, have some money saved up, drink more water, stay grounded. The most important thing through all this is to stay grounded. And staying grounded means, getting up every day at a, not sleeping in, have a nice schedule, get up, go for a walk, have a healthy breakfast that helps to ground you. I like to have my fruits and greens in the morning. You just really need to focus on grounding in this reality, because it's when you work with Moldavite and people go crazy and they, throw it away and they're just like, it's too much, everything's happening. They unknowingly try to escape what's going on, because it's just, the reality is too intense. They might be going through a breakup and they lost their job, all these crazy things happening at home, they might have lost a couple friendships. So it's really easy to just want to escape that. And I was like, you know what, it's not simple, but like the best thing to do when experiencing all this is to stay grounded. Drink your water, put your bare feet in the grass. Like those little things that used to not really help me back in the day, help me through using Moldavite. And it was after I started to incorporate these things while using Moldavite that I started to love it, because I started to see how all these things benefited me. Yes, change is painful. It can be traumatizing for some, especially because you most likely have developed a comfort in where you are, and it's scary. Change is always scary, especially big changes. The other thing I was going to say was, the important thing is to really pour self-love into yourself as well. A big thing for me, I always say, is my spiritual baths. I like to boil really gentle herbs when I'm doing my spiritual baths, because I don't recommend doing like harsh black walnut baths, anything like that, because you're already doing a cleansing. You're already working with the energy, and it's already ridding yourself of energy cords, certain things in your life. So the last thing you need to do is like a really intense cleansing ritual or spiritual bath. Unless spirit instructs you to do it, I say do more gentle things, like, doing like a nice rose bath, go and get a massage, do some self-care. Like, you really need to pour that love into yourself, because things are ending, you might lose a few friendships, and it can be depressing and it can make you feel sad. And not only that, but you're losing energy, although you're losing energy or energy cords that aren't benefiting you, it still leaves you depleted. It still leaves you with like kind of like a void energy. So the best thing you can do is to replace that void energy with something of self-love. Like I said, go and get a massage, maybe go and get your nails done, get a facial, do a nice spiritual bath, because that will also help with the transition. So you won't have the depression, you won't have the sadness, and it'll also help to ground you as well. I really don't want people to fear this stone, but I also don't want people to jump in head first and think, okay, I can do this. I know what I'm doing. I'd say the people that would really benefit from this are people that understand energy. If you know energy and you understand energy, and you could read when you have blockages within your body, you understand how, your vibration changes, who you attract, what you attract, things like that, then I think that this stone is definitely for you. But if you're brand new to spirituality and you're not really understanding energy, and, change scares you, I would recommend going with a lighter stone. Okay, go with something lighter and work your way up. Just because, I definitely started with lighter stones. I'm so thankful. I didn't even know what Moldavite was for years, even though Spirit was telling me to get it. I would recommend working your way up. But I would also recommend this for the divine feminines, because at this point, you probably already passed the separation, you're past the dark night of the soul, and now it's really time to amp things up and really push you into alignment and push you into your higher vibration. Okay? Because by this point, obviously if you're fresh to separation, I don't recommend it. But if you're past all that, you've already experienced so many changes, you've experienced so many spiritual things up to this point. So I personally don't see the harm in it. But like I said previously, stay grounded, drink your water, eat nutritious foods. You really need to ground yourself during this process, because there's a lot that's going to be happening outside. There's going to be a lot that's happening within your spirit body, and you need to stay present in despite what's happening around you. Okay? So I think that's it for this video. I love you guys so much. Take care.